Let's continue with the demo. I think we have only two participants, Vineet and Sneha. Let's get our introduction first, and then we'll move on to the demo part. Okay. So let me introduce myself. I'm Venu. I have around 18 years of experience into the field of HR, where I've started my career as HR executive and then moved to SAP HCM implementations. And from SAP HCM, I've upgraded my skills and moved to SuccessFactors. And from last 10 years, I've been working on SuccessFactors. These 10 years, I've worked on various modules like Employee Central, Compensation, PMGM, and Recruiting. Though I've worked on all of these modules, my core areas have always been like compensation and EC because I've spent most of my time in these areas. And coming to teaching, I'm into teaching from last 12, 13 years. I used to train earlier on SAP HCM. Later, after moving to SuccessFactors, I've started training on SuccessFactors also from last 6, 7 years. Okay, so that's a quick overview of me. Can I have your introduction, please, Sneha and Vineet?
Thank you, Venu. Nice meeting you.
I missed out on the introduction part of you because there was some audio issue, I believe.
Audio issue, my audio issue, or
I couldn't hear anything.
okay,
No, your voice was okay for us, Vinit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Sneha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snehal, you can continue.
Hi, I'm Snehal, and I have almost 3 years experience into Success Factor, and currently working into PMGM. So, just to learn, new model and which is, related to PMGM, I would like to join this course. Venu.
Okay, so you are already into PMGM and you want to learn
Yes.
compensation.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Vinith, how about you?
Hi, my name is Vineet, and basically, I have a total of almost 5 years of experience with SAP HCM. But now
Mhm.
I've just moved to Success Factors. So basically, starting off with compensation. That's my project requirement, and eventually would be doing EC as well.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So both of you doesn't have any experience into Employee Central, right? Yeah. Since compensation
Well,
mod,
I have worked little bit into the EC some few period. Okay,
yeah,
so I was taking care of RBP's part and also the
okay.
objects and yeah.
Yeah, RBP is common for every module across success
Yeah.
factors. Okay, the setup or the structure is same. Only thing is the permissions that are required for each module are different. Otherwise, the RBP structure is same. The navigation is same, and no, we configure different roles, different groups based on the requirement of the customer. Okay, yeah. So, what do you know about compensation? What do you think the compensation module is used for? What is your understanding on compensation? Can anybody tell me? Vineet or Snehal?
So when you regarding employees, payout, it's not payout exactly the bonus variable pay, and that we are calculating into the compensation. That's what my understanding is.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it is correct to some extent. The success factors compensation module is all about rewarding the employees based on their performance. Now, every employee, after a year working with the organization, their performances are to be evaluated and reward them as as per their performance. right? So the compensation module always starts after the performance module is completed, after the appraisals are completed. Based on the appraisals that the employees have got, the managers or the compensation planners here, whoever is recommending the salary increase, we call them planners, compensation planners. They would be recommending some salary increases based on the appraisals. Most of the times it is based on the appraisals, but there are some customers who doesn't link the performance module with compensation. Instead, they do the evaluation on the compensation itself. Okay, and that is called compensation award level. So we have option of integrating the performance appraisals with the compensation module, or if customer doesn't want to have the performance module, we can also have the evaluation done in the compensation module itself, and we call it as a CAL, comp award level. So we can have the comp award level ratings defined, and that ratings can be used for rewarding the employees. Okay, and the person who recommends the salary increases, generally it is a manager of the employee, but in some cases some organizations may also have a different person other than the manager. It would be the compensation planner. Some persons in the organization act as a compensation planner. They would be recommending salary increases. Okay, we'll see that based on different hierarchies. So how do we set up the different hierarchies, how to pull out the managers, or how to pull out the compensation plans, that we'll see separately. Okay, so in general, the compensation module is an objective way of rewarding high performing employees and retain valuable employees. So why we have to reward the employees? Because we have to retain the employees. Okay, if you don't give the employees the proper, no, rewarding, we might lose the employees. So we'll have to evaluate the employees' performance and retain the employees within the organization. Okay, now the compensation planning, or we call it as a focal planning. Okay, it can be done in different ways. Most of the organizations, they follow the annual review, that is at the end of the year. Before start of the new year, they will close out on the compensation planning, and the updated salaries will be posted to Employee Central. Okay, the process would be, we pick up all the data, required data from Employee Central, because Employee Central is the source of the master data. Okay, so we pull out all the details from Employee Central, and then some details we also manage it in the compensation module itself. And once we process the data, once the process is completed, again we'll push back the data to EC. Like, I'll take the current salary of the employee. Today, the current salary of the employee is 1 lakh. Now the employee is given 10 percentage of increase in compensation planning. A 10 percentage would be added to 1 lakh. 1 lakh 10,000 would be pushed to Employee Central as the regular salary, starting with an effective date. Okay, so all of the details we fetch the data from different sources, majorly the Employee Central, because all of the master data lies in Employee Central, and some information we can pick it from performance management, like the appraisal details, the performance ratings, we can get it from performance module. Some data we can create a custom tables and pull the data from those custom tables, and some standard fields which are available in the compensation planning, we can use them to our compensation planning. Okay. Now this compensation training, we'll be covering it in 10 to 12 days. Since you both of you doesn't have much experience into Employee Central, it may extend, because I may have to explain you the details within the Employee Central as well. So what data we get from Employee Central, and when we push the Employee Central, or when we publish the data from compensation to Employee Central, where will it go and sit, and how do we publish the data? So that we will see in, so it might take 1 or 2 more sessions additionally, because you don't have any experience into Employee Central. Okay, Now, both of you have worked on some modules of success factors or have some basic knowledge. So we don't use any kind of workflows here. Workflows are generally for MI Central. We use here roadmap, same as the performance management or same as the recruiting module. So wherever we use the template based configuration, the compensation configuration is done in a template. Okay, same as your requisition template or appraisal template. So the process remains same. Here also we don't use workflows, we use instead roadmaps. Okay, so the entire compensation content is covered in 12 sessions. Initially we start with the regular process, what do we do in compensation planning. Then we start with the configuration in provisioning. Like any other module, we also do few tasks in provisioning. We will have to enable certain functionalities or features in provisioning and then move to RBP. We'll look at the RBP, the role-based permission, what permissions are granted to different roles of the compensation module. And then we come to the configuration and see how do we set up. The compensation module different areas. Okay, let me list out here. Give me 1 second. I think the display is freezed. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Now, compensation module basically contains, okay, it basically contains different configurations, mainly on the design worksheet. Okay, design worksheet is a place where we configure all the fields that are required on the worksheet. Worksheet is nothing but a template. Okay, so we need to choose what details you want to pop up on the template, like the employee name, employee's designation, employee's date of hire, employee's salary details, like what is the annual salary, what is the frequency of the salary that is paid, or any other details of the employee. So all of these fields, what are required. So what is the source of these fields? So we'll have to design that in design worksheet. Okay, the major components of compensation. The first part is your design worksheet where we fetch the details from different sources, okay, and make a template. And then comes your eligibility. If we have 10,000 employees in the organization, are all the 10,000 employees eligible for the compensation plan, or only the regular employees? If you want to exclude trainees, interns, consultants, contractors, we'll have to define what is the eligibility. Often it may happen that if you consider a year starting from Jan to December, employees who are hired before a certain date. Let's say I don't want to consider the employees who have hired or hired after October 1st. So we need to put a cutoff date, September 30th or October 30th as a cutoff date, so that we only pick the employees who are hired before this date. So those are defined in the eligibility. Some employees may not be eligible for promotion, or some employees may not be eligible for salary increase. Some employees may not be eligible for certain components. So all of this is defined in the eligibility. Which employees are eligible, which employees are to be excluded from the compensation plan. So that is done in the eligibility. So we use the business rules to control the eligibility of the employees. Okay. And then we have budget. So every compensation plan that we configure needs to have the budget. So every compensation planner or a manager should be given some budget from which the manager would be recommending the salary increase. If I'm a manager, I have 10 employees reporting to me, so I would be given some budget. So how is this budget calculated? Now, how do you want this budget to be exceeded? Do you want to pop up any message whenever manager exceeds the budget? So all of this is configured in the budget. And then we have guidelines, salary guidelines or merit guidelines. Okay. Now, as per the grade of the employee, we have a fixed ranges of a salary. Let's take an example of a manager who or a executive. Okay, the salary range of this executive is between 10 to 20 lakhs, and the employees are currently into different salaries within this range: 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs, 13, 14, up to 20. Okay, and the guidelines will tell us what should be the salary increase that can be recommended for the employee based on different criteria. It can be based on the employee's performance. Most of these times, 99% of the times, it is based on the performance of the employee. Okay, or either the performance can be from the performance module or it can be within the compensation module where we define the comp award levels. Okay, so based on the comp award level or the performance appraisal rating, we can set a guidelines saying employees with rating should have a salary increase of 2 to 5 percentage. Employees with a rating of 2 should have a salary increase of 5 to 10 percentage. Employees with rating 3 should have a guideline of or no salary increase of 10 to 15%. So we set some guidelines so that the compensation planner follows the same process for every employee across the organization. If you look at all the employees of the organization with their ratings, the managers or the planners have to follow the guidelines that are set. System will not allow them to deviate from the guidelines that we have configured. If a person with rating 1 is supposed to have only a salary increase of 1 to 5 percentage, every employee in the organization you will see either no, 1 or between 1 to 5, not less than 1 and not more than 5 percentage. Now this is just an example that I am giving. We can set different guidelines. Now here performance appraisal is a criteria. So we can also have different criteria. Let's say different countries have different criteria. Now within, if we have employees from different regions of the world, so let's say our company has operations in 4 different countries. Each country has got different set of ratings and different set of guidelines. Yes, we can configure the guidelines based on different criteria like performance management and country, performance management and grade. I want to have now different grade of employees with different guidelines. Yes, we can configure that. That is your guidelines. And then we have source or source of rating. Now, rating sources can be your performance management or compensation. And sometimes, if you have not implemented performance module in employees in success factors, but still want to have the ratings defined or have the compensation guidelines defined based on the performance rating or performance module, which is outside the success factors module. Okay. Now, success factors, we have there are customers who are not using performance module in success factors but performance in a different application. So we need to pull out the ratings from that application, store it somewhere in success factors, and then consider that as the guideline source. Okay, so that is called your rating source. So what is the template? Or if you have multiple performance templates within the organization, some for regular employees, some for no directors, and some for some levels of employees. So we can choose multiple rating sources to define the guidelines. So what are the rating sources that we want to use for our compensation planning? That can be configured. And then finally, we have the statements, the compensation statements. After the configuration is completed or after the process is completed, we may have to generate the statements. Statements are similar to your payslip. What is the current salary of the employee and what is the recommended salary or the approved salary after the compensation planning? If the employees are promoted, so what was the grade earlier and what is the designation earlier and what is the grade now after compensation planning? So all of these details you will find it in a document called compensation statement. So we can configure the compensation statements within compensation module, or if you want to have the extended versions of the compensation statements where you want to design some tables or have some calculations done, so which is not possible in SuccessFactors, you can also have these statements configured outside the compensation or outside the SuccessFactors module and integrate that with the SuccessFactors compensation module. So SuccessFactors gives us all of the required fields or required content within compensation module, but in some cases I 10 out of 1 out of 10 customers I have seen going with a custom template because they want to have the extended version of the statements. So in that case we can configure or we can create a custom statements, or most of the times 90% of the times it is the standard statements which SuccessFactors provides. We can customize the standard statements what SuccessFactors has provided. Okay, we can add our own content, we can add logos, we can add the signatures, we can add our own fields, we can populate some fields dynamically. So all of these things can be done. So we would be generating the compensation statements as well. And the last thing that we have in compensation module is the publishing the data back to EC. Data is fetched from EC before starting of the compensation planning. And then once the compensation plan is completed, let's say the manager has recommended the salary increase, which is approved by some levels, and then or calibrated by HRBP. And at the end, the finalized data is to be pushed back to Employee Central, which is again your source of master data. So we'll be sending the data from compensation module to EC. Again, this is automated process. We will be updating all the employee data. If we have 5,000 employees or 10,000 employees in compensation planning, all of these employees records would be updated from compensation module. Okay, so that's the last piece. Now within this, we also have something called route maps. We'll also discuss on the route maps. Who would be part of the compensation planning? Okay, what are the recommended steps in the compensation approval process? Okay, and how do we do that configuration? That we'll see in the roadmaps. Okay, I will walk you through the system, just give you an overview of so how do we do the compensation planning. So meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Any doubts so far? Okay. Now, once we log into the SuccessFactors application, if we have to navigate to the compensation planning or compensation module, can go to the home drop down or the module picker. This is your module picker. Under module picker, you will see compensation planning. This is for the end user, whoever wants to navigate to compensation, but configuration is not done from here. Configuration will be doing it from admin center. Okay, so the end users would be logging into the system and navigate into compensation planning from module picker. So we have different views in compensation planning. We have forms, executive review for leadership, budget assignments. If you have budget configuration, the budget assignments based on different hierarchies, we can use budget assignments. And we also have another module called rewards and recognition. This is outside the compensation module. So this is, one of the modules of compensation. Okay, rewards and recognition. We can also configure rewards and recognition. So any form that is available with the person that has logged. Now I have logged in as one of the users, and this user has got a form. So I can go navigate to that compensation plan and see the details of the planning. Okay, now this is your compensation worksheet. Every individual will have a worksheet. Now this is called the compensation worksheet. Now, what fields we see here? So these are different fields like job title, country, employee, data file, legal entity. So we see all of these details. These are not editable. These are not editable because we have fetched these details from Employee Central. So this is done in the design worksheet. So how do you want to display your fields, or what fields you want to display on the compensation worksheet is done in the design worksheet. And then we have budgets. We talked about budgets. So system will display the budget. What is the budget allocated for salary increase or for promotions or for any adjustments? Or you can also have the total of the merit adjustment and promotion as well, the total percentage. So how much is the budget allocated, how much we have spent for the employees, and what is the budget remaining. So all of this can be configured. Then we have route maps will show up here, approval process. Where will it go? First level, second level, third level. We can have any number of levels of approvals here. So we can configure them. Where will it go? Okay, who is the person responsible? The first step, second step, third step, we can see that in the route maps. And then we have eligibility. If I have 10 employees reporting to me, here it is showing only 7 because the 3 employees who are under me are not eligible. Maybe because they are consultants, contractors, or maybe because they are hired after the cutoff date. So different criteria, because of different criteria, those employees are not eligible for the compensation plan. So I will only see the eligible employees here. Okay, and then we define the salary guidelines. So this is your guidelines. Employees, all of these employees here, if you see 0 to 10%, system is allowing only 0 to 10%. That means the guidelines are set to have 10% here. So let me open one more plan. Okay, let me see, show you if you have any additional guidelines. Yeah. Depending on the configuration, you can see the guidelines. And system will not allow me, let's say if it says 0 to 10% is what we have configured. For the compensation planners, if I try to input more than 10%, okay, let's say I'm trying to give 15%, it gives me the error message that merit 15% is outside guideline of 0 to 10% because we have set it to 0 to 10% and system is not allowing me. Now I cannot have the minus values also. Okay, this is also outside the guideline, minus 5%. Okay, it doesn't allow you to deviate from the guidelines that are configured. This is your guideline. And we can also have the promotion. We can configure the promotion. Employees will be promoted on the compensation plan. You go click on promote, it allows you to change the employee's designation, change the employee's grade, etc. Okay, now this is for the end users. If I'm a manager, I want to review the compensation planning of my employees. I can navigate to compensation planning, go to forms, open the form, and then I recommend the salary increases and I will forward it to next level. If I have multiple employees, let's say I have 100 employees reporting to me. And if I have to do the compensation planning for all of these 100 employees or 1000 employees, I have option to import and export. I can download this compensation template into Excel format, do the recommendations on the Excel and upload back into the system. I don't have to do it only in the system. We can also download it into offline format, that is Excel, and then make changes in the recommendations, upload back into the system. Generally, if you have bulk employee data which is to be maintained, we do the bulk uploads as well. So you have option of import and export. And we will be navigating, or we will be routing the form from one step to the other step. So always it starts with comp admin. Comp admin moves it to next level, which is compensation planner. And from planner, it goes to the planner's approver. And then from approver, it goes to HR calibration. And then from HR, it would be completed. And after completion, we do two steps. One is the statement generation, and second is the data published from compensation to EC. Okay, so this would be our entire configuration. The major configurations that we do are these things. Okay, I'll take a pause and see if you have any doubts. No doubts? Okay, then. So we'll stop it here. And If you have any further clarification that are required, you can speak to Satish or your coordinators. Okay, and we'll be starting off these sessions very soon. So you can check with your support team who are coordinating with you when is the batch starting up, and you can show your interest. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Venu. And we will go through this session. Once we will full fledged into the course, we can have a doubt. We have some doubts, but I think we can ask you at the time of session.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much.
Venu, Vineet here. So
Yes.
basically, what all dependency, like since I have no experience with EC, since you said, uh,
Mm.
what all dependency is there for compensation? Like what all modules or whatever, there are something coming from PMGM as well
Yeah,
into
PMGM
compensation,
will
I think.
only take PMGM will only take the rating. So you don't need the knowledge of PMGM because uh,
Oh,
only the rating part is pulled from performance rating. We'll just have to add the template and system automatically pulls the rating. So you don't need anything on the performance rating. But most of the now, if you look at the template here, all of these fields are 80 percentage or 70 percentage of the fields are coming from Employee Central. So, and within Employee Central, we have different portlets like effective dated, non-effective dated. Okay, so we need to understand what data is stored at each portlet level and why do we use that information. Let's say within personal information, we have the fields like first name, last name, gender, salutation, and so on. Okay, we may pull only some information, like if I want to see the gender of the employee or if I want to see the first and last name of the employee, we pull that information from personal information. We have org information where we store the grades, designation, position, country, department, and all. So we might need this information from org information. So we pull this information. And then we have comp information where we store the salary details, the bonus percentages, the comp ratios or range penetration. So all of this data we pull from comp information. So different portlets gives us the different information, and we can also configure. Now I want to consolidate it, all of this information on the worksheet. We can put one header and add all of the information. Now you see here personal information, it is showing up job title, country, data file, legal entity, and so on. Generally this data comes from job information or org information. Okay, you can have your own section where you can populate the data. So you might need some, knowledge of Employee Central here. Okay, when we publish the data back to EC again, where do we go and see the information that is published? Okay, if we have promoted, if the employee's designation is changed, or if the employee's salary is changed, okay, there are different areas within the compensation. The regular salaries or with the one-time payments, the bonus would be sent to one particular section. The regular salary would be sent to a different section. Okay, it would be inserted with a event and the event reason. So what are the events and event reasons? So you need to have an understanding of this. So that I will be covering as part of the course.
So
Okay.
when this course will be, the sessions will be like live, uh, means live. We are whole implementing the whole compensation.
Yes, yes, we'll be implementing we'll be doing our own configuration. We'll be creating our own template. We'll be pulling up the data from different sources. Okay, we configure, we launch the worksheets, we process this worksheet, we complete this worksheet, we publish the data to EC. We'll see everything.
Okay. Okay. And how many no sessions it is? If you can.
Usually it takes 12 sessions. So 10
12.
sessions if you have knowledge of Employee Central, 12 sessions if you know don't have knowledge of route maps or Employee Central, of two additional sessions. We are planning to have this in the weekends. Okay, Saturdays and Sundays, 1.5 hour to 2 hours on Saturday and Sunday.
So it will be sorry. It will be included provisioning settings also, right?
Yes, provisioning settings also.
Okay. And all business rules and everything.
Yeah, so this is the course content if you see here. So all of these 38 topics will be covered. Yes,
Okay.
this includes your business rules. Eligibility rules is done through business rules.
Okay. Okay, Venu.
Okay. You'll be given access to system. You'll be given the recordings of each and every session. After the session is completed, you'll be given the recording as well. You'll also be given the complete material. We also assist you in, if you want to do your certification, we also assist in clearing the certification as well.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Venu.
Yeah. Any other
Thank you.
further clarification that you need, you may speak to your coordinators, and hope to see you all soon in the regular sessions.
Hey, hey,
Okay.
hey, Ted.
Thank you. Thank you.
Final question.
Yeah, go ahead.
My Devika here. So, are you going to cover the variable pay in this?
No, variable pay is not part of the compensation. This is only the 10 to 12 sessions what we are going to discuss. This is only on the compensation module, not on the variable pay.
Okay, thank you.
We have a separate trainer for variable pay if you're interested to learn variable pay.
Well, yes, we just, maybe, I don't know, like, I just need, with the variable pay regarding the compensation. Well,
Okay, okay, yeah. Yeah, these two are two different modules. You have separate certification as well, compensation and variable pay.
correct me if I'm wrong. So, as of my knowledge, like, variable pay is an internal part of compensation management. I was just, thinking
No.
like we
So
see the bonus pay and everything.
we have different templates for different modules. Like we have one for variable pay and one for compensation, and combined the compensation and variable pay, we can create a plan called total compensation plan. So variable pay is not within the compensation. Compensation is generally the merit or the salary increase, and then the variable pay is all about your bonus calculation. So
Yes,
bonus can be calculated within compensation module also, but if customers have the extended version of the bonus calculation, okay, like if we want to consider the company's performance and I want to review the employees performance, we have to combine both companies and the employees performance, and then the calculate the bonus percentages of the employees, then we do what we go with the variable plan. Otherwise, if it is a simple process where the employee's bonus is to be processed within the compensation plan, we can do that as well.
So collectively, if you take the sessions of the compensation and variable, so how many weeks it will go on?
Variable pay, again, it takes another 10 days. If you have knowledge of compensation, some of them, like 50 percentage of the configuration, matches with the compensation, then additional configuration, it might take some time, like 5 more sessions, like total of 10, again, same 10 to 12 sessions for variable pay and 10 to 12 sessions for compensation.
Okay, so if let us say like I opt and variable pay also with your training, so maybe I'm understanding like first of all we'll complete the compensation, then we can go for variable pay, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you in the compensation this sessions, can
Mhm.
you just give us some overview of some? You just said that the bonus can be calculated in the compensation as well. So is that possible? You to give us some kind of idea or some
Yeah,
overview?
within the compensation plan, we can calculate, or we can have the bonus as well. That we can do. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your weekend. Uh, we'll catch up in the regular sessions.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you,
Thank
team.
you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, team.